everybody to the first episode of Haunting Jen. In this episode, I plan to discuss my first experience. The first one that I can remember well enough that it made a pretty big impact on me. When I was 3, I started seeing shadow people. In the hallway, doorway, there was a lot of times I was afraid to even go to the freaking bathroom because I thought it was like going to get me or something. I started to have nightmares. I mean, I had a lot of night terrors when I was a kid, just afraid of everything. Now, what I don't understand is why would a 3-year-old be afraid of something like that? If they don't understand it, sure. But it was like constant. It was all the time. Maybe the house that we lived in was haunted, but I don't think anybody else experienced anything but me. My mom and my parents put up with me quite a bit till the age of 13 because I would sleep in their room, their bed, wherever. When the older I got, it was the floor because my parents were like, no, you're too old. Or the recliner. But yeah, they were nice till about 13. By the time I was 13, I was like, forget this. I am going to face it because I'm tired of it, you know. My brothers, they were in part of it. They helped me out a lot. You know, when my parents were not wanting me to sleep with them, I'd go sleep with one of them or something like that. But then they got all the same things. So of course, that's probably why the reason why I was 13, I was like, well, I'm just going to have to, deal with it. Figure out my own little safety things, like how I want the door, what side of the bed I'm going to sleep on, lights, etc. Whatever ritual I needed to do to feel safe in my room. So speaking of dreams, I'll just go ahead and tell you the very first real experience that I have that I shared with my family. And it was when I was a kid. I was taking a nap. I was at my grandparents' house in the back room just taking a nap. The whole family was there too. And a woman showed up sitting on the side of my bed. And I don't know if I was asleep or if I was just waking up. It was enough to where I had to crunch up to the back of the headboard in fetal position and just kind of look at her like, who are you? Who is this woman? Why are you in my room? I don't know who you are. And she also was kind of scary to me because she was translucent. But she also looked like my mom. She kind of looked like my grandma. So when she finally touched me to let me know that, hey, everything's okay, it's good, I'm here for you, I'm not here to harm you, everything's fine. She talked me down to not being scared of her, and then she gave me this huge hug. And this hug was amazing because it was a sense of euphoria that I had never felt before. It was pure love. There was no fear, no anxiety, none of that crazy stuff. So it was very profound for a little 4-year-old. So when she left, I was very upset because I wanted her to stay around because I still wanted to feel like that. But when she left, she radiated light, and she kind of like backed up a little bit, like walked back, and then she said bye, and I think she kind of turned, and then poof, she was gone. Like she just walked through some portal. Like she just came from a completely different dimension. So I was pretty distraught and upset because here was my new friend, and she had left, and I didn't know who she was, where she went, and I didn't understand the whole concept of it. And my mom heard me crying, so she came into the room and she tried to console me, and she let me know that, honey, that's just a dream, don't worry about that. There was nobody here. There's no other lady here. It's just us. It's me, you, grandma, grandpa, your brothers. It's good. It's just nothing to worry about. So it was dismissed as usual. I think just about anything I would try to talk to my parents about was dismissed, which I understand because the way they were brought up, very Christian Baptist people, to them, when people pass away, they go to heaven. And people, when they go to heaven, they don't come back. It's a hard concept for them to grasp. So back then, I just left it alone. Now, forward to 5 years later, maybe 4 or 5 years later, my grandfather passed away, my mom's dad. And it was pretty hard for me because he was the first real death I had ever seen. But I was really close to my grandpa, so it was hard for me, but it was even harder listening to my mother. That was hard. And something in the back of my head just kept telling her I needed to talk to her about that experience some more. So I ended up telling her about it again. Wanted to, really have a good discussion, because here I was older. I wasn't 3 or 4. Let's talk about this, because it was bothering me. And the more we talked and I explained to her what she looked like, the more she kind of opened up a little bit and thought, well, that kind of really sounds like your great-grandmother. And I was like, oh, well, did I meet her before, because I must have been a baby when I met her. And she said, no, actually she passed away 4 years before you were born. So that was pretty profound. And she seemed to think I explained her to a T. I can't remember all the details. I do remember she had longish strawberry blonde hair. It could have been curly, could have been wavy. Just a pleasant face and her smile. So at that point, since my grandfather had passed away, I think my mom opened up a little bit to where she was okay with that, and kind of put it in her head as a question mark that maybe my daughter is actually able to see my grandma Gertie. How, she doesn't know, but she was accepting it, which is the first step. So ending this episode, I am curious to know if any of you have experienced your own type of paranormal phenomenon. It could be visitations, dreams. Dreams are great. I've had tons of visitations in my dreams. In the waking state, if you see an apparition, myself, I'm not sure if I've seen an apparition because, well, my grandmother must have been one. I don't know. I'm really good at dismissing things. It's just kind of instilled in me, the skeptic. Don't believe the first thing you hear or see. But I would really encourage anyone to just send me a personal message. I would love to hear it, because I haven't experienced everything. I mean, that'd be pretty cool, but no, I haven't. So I will probably interview people too as well. It's the end. Until next time, keep it weird.